Swift and Tips podcast.
I was always been a Mac user. I mean, my first personal computer I actually ever owned was an Apple II Plus, and
Really? Wow.
did a lot of work on that back in the day, and taught
Wow.
myself a study language, um, and never did anything incredible with that, but still, it was always I was always really interested in that, and then learned Pascal. Then had a simple, the old beige toaster style Macs when I was in
Mhm.
college, and learned Pascal from that. And then I got a job at a company that was basically a contract company that had lots of different customers, and that was doing Mac OS development. And this is we're talking about System 6, System 7, long before Apple it released System 10 and basically rewrote their operating system to set up in Unix. But that's what kind of got me going there. And so I did that for several years, and then I transitioned over to do web applications. I worked at a company called MP3.com back in the
I
day. Yeah.
sorry for interrupt you, but I have a question there. So you
Mhm. Okay,
you
sure.
you, you work as a developer, making apps. I don't know if the app concept was something at that time, but making programs. So what was the technology they used? I don't know because
So back
Objective came later, right?
No, yeah, exactly. So back then, actually we were writing the apps were written in C++ primarily,
Okay.
and the Apple had a development framework that was called I think it was called Mac App, if I remember correctly. It's kind of been a long time, but it was
Okay.
mostly um, a command line sort of like batch, like you make file, run
Okay.
things, command line type environment. But um, what we worked with was a tool that was called MetroWorks Code Warrior, and that was the first integrated development environment I ever saw. So it was one where you actually had a screen and there was integrated debugger, and you could actually step through your code. It was and they had their own class library that you could use to sort of stand up certain elements of the application, like basic controller logic and UI and et cetera, et cetera. So it was, in my opinion, a big leap forward from trying to use Mac app to do sort of development. And so, yeah, so the kind of things that we were over there, we had a variety of different clients. I'm trying to remember some of the different products we worked on. I remember, like, for example, we had some of our customers, we had a product line that would drive animatronics. So you think about, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, where they have
Yeah,
like the animated band.
my kid love it.
Yeah, so I think I can't recall whether exactly Chuck E. Cheese was a customer, but that was kind of thing that, like, we had some control software that would control that. You
Mhm.
could in case you script different sort of movements and then run these scripts and run the animatronics. And
Wow.
we had various customers. Like, that company was based out of Los Angeles. This is actually interesting. This company was also the first work from home company that I'd ever worked at. So my first job, I would I didn't have to go into the office because there wasn't one. It was completely distributed. We had a what basically a bulletin board service that we would log into and share code and share tasks
So you
and
work at
collaborate.
home
Yeah, so
at
I
that
would
time?
work at home. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So yeah, so kind
Pioneer.
of yeah, exactly. It's kind of groundbreaking, right? In a way, it's like kind of set the stage for how it
Wow.
works today. That was one of the big innovations. Like, yeah, we can have developers from all over the country. We don't need to really have to have a central office. We can hire people in Indiana and people on the East Coast, and you know, I was being paid by the hour, but that was fine. We had a way to work that out. And so anyway, so that was my introduction, I guess you could say, to the Apple development ecosystem, is doing
Mhm.
Macintosh applications. And